Hello everyone, hope you're doing good. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are at day 3 of the February daily Leetcode challenge. This is the third easy question we are getting in a row in this particular month. Okay, this is the third easy question. And again, as I mentioned, I will be showing you the solution which is beating 100% of other solutions. As you can see on the screen, it is beating 100% of other solutions. I am going to show the solution. Okay, now coming to the question, it is 3105. Okay, let me zoom in first. Yep. Yeah, it is 3105, longest strictly increasing or strictly decreasing subarray. So first of all, like I will show you both Python and Java solution. In the Python solution, I added a lot of comments so that it becomes a lot of readable for you. Okay, it becomes a lot more readable for you. The aim is like you get every insight of what is happening at the same time. Like I have done a lot of tracing here, so these tracings also I will be showing you so that you have a like full clarity of what you have to do. So that my aim is after watching this video, you don't even need to see the code. You can just go with the explanation itself. You can just go write the code and then get this. Okay, then you should be getting this, that your code is clearing 100% of the solutions. This is a benchmark that you have to target all through your life whenever you are trying to achieve something through the coding. Right? Okay, that's what I wanted to say. Yeah, coming to this question, so always remember, when it is easy question, always your target should be to get, to beat 100% of the other solutions. Okay, because remember, in easy question you don't get much to learn, but again you will have to beat the best. Okay, among all the other solutions you have to ensure that your solution is the best. Okay, now coming to this question, 3105, longest strictly increasing or strictly decreasing subarray. Okay, so the name is very clear. Okay, let me directly go to the input. So this is the input given to you. What you have to ensure is that you will have to return the length. Okay, so see this question, you are given an array of integer nums, return the length of the longest. Remember, the word longest is very important. If you forget, like if you don't see this, then you are not understanding the question correctly. Okay, so please pay attention to every word here. Longest subarray of nums which is either strictly increasing or strictly decreasing. Okay, so you have to consider two cases. Either it can be strictly increasing or it can be strictly decreasing. Okay, and it has to be the longest one. Okay, so since you have to return only one answer, that's why they're asking you the longest one. Okay, longest subarray of nums which is either strictly increasing or strictly decreasing. Okay, we'll go through example number one. Before that, let us see the constraints. The length of the input that we are going to get, okay, is going to be in the range of 51 to 50. Okay, similarly the value also is going to be 1 to 50. For each value is also going to be in 1 to 50. Again, this is not something important for us because this is okay, 50 is very less number. Okay, it doesn't matter if you take int or float, whatever it is. In Java and C++, these things will not matter. Okay, again, if this is a bigger number, you will have to change your data type, but again for this question, this is, it's not at all a concern. Even this is not a concern. Okay, 50 is a very less number, right? Now how to solve this question, see, we'll go through example. See, okay, before that, can you quickly tell me, okay, without seeing the input, can you quickly tell me what is the minimum possible answer? Okay, based on these constraints, what is the minimum possible answer going to be? Always remember, since they are asking for a sub array, okay, and remember, even one element is a subarray in itself. Okay, for example, 4 is a subarray in itself. So obviously the answer that you are going to get, the minimum possible answer is going to be 1. Okay, so the long minimum possible answer in this case is going to be 1. Okay, just remember that 0 is not at all possible here. Just wanted to tell you that so that get a clarity of what is happening. Remember, you have to return the length of a subarray. Okay, since we are asking about strictly increasing, strictly decreasing, remember, strictly increasing and strictly decreasing are with respect to other elements. Okay, so if you take a single element, it will always be strictly increasing with itself, and obviously it will be strictly decreasing with itself. Okay, always remember that. So always the length of 1 is possible answer. So the minimum possible answer is going to be 1. Now coming to this question here, we will go each element. Okay, we are going from 1 to 4. Okay, so the length is 2 here. Okay, the subarray length is 2 and it is strictly increasing. So we are getting 2 as the answer now. Okay, now when I go to 4 to 3, it is now starting decreasing. Okay, now it is decreasing, it is strictly decreasing. So again, the length is 2. In this case, the subarray that we are getting now is strictly decreasing and the length is 2. Okay, now, so till now we have seen the longest subarray that we have seen till now is 2. Okay, length 2. Now 3 and 3. 3 and 3, if you see here, it is neither strictly increasing nor strictly decreasing. Okay, it is equal element. Remember, whenever the adjacent elements are equal, they will neither be strictly increasing nor they will be strictly decreasing. Okay, so here the subarray length, okay, is going to be 0. Okay, or you can say 1. The subarray length in this which is satisfying this property is going to be 1. Okay, now 3 and 2, again it is strictly decreasing, so again it is going to be 2. Okay, so overall, if you see the all the values, among all the values, if you see, we are getting 2 as the maximum okay, longest subarray. Okay, 2 is the length of the longest subarray which is satisfying these properties. Okay, yep, they have also given it, detailed explanation. You can go through that. They have given all the explanations here. You can maybe go through that. Remember, it's a subarray, not a subsequence. Okay, always I remember, whenever I see this kind of questions, always be very clear what you are asked. Because they have asked subarray, that's why it is marked as easy question. Had this been a subsequence and had this been a 10 power 5 range, then this question would have been marked as a medium. Okay, so always remember, whenever seeing a easy question, it is easy for a reason. Okay, that's why if you see in this case subarray, had this been subsequence and had the length been 10 power 5, then it would have been a medium question. Okay, as simple as that. Now, how to solve this question? Okay, so see this part. Let me zoom out. it's going to be very, very simple. I am just going to use O of n solution. Okay, time complexity is going to be O of n. Space complexity device, it is going to be O of 1. Okay, we are not using any extra space, but yeah, in time complexity it is going to be O of n because we have to go through every element. So time complexity it is going to be O of n. Okay, now how to solve this question? Let me zoom in. Let us begin. Remember, first of all, I'm capturing the length. Okay, then first I'm showing the Python solution first. Okay, then I will be going through the Java solution also. This is the Java solution that I've already prepared you. I will show you this also. Exactly the same. See, this kind of code, no, it's all just about the syntax. Okay, there is no logical difference between Java and Python thing. Okay, as simple as that. Now, please pay attention. Now, see, and as we know, it's the length of the substring. Okay, length of the whole input. Answer by, as I mentioned, by default, the minimum possible answer is going to be 1. So I have also started my answer with 1. Okay, as simple as that. Now, what is this? This basically means that increasing subarray length. Okay, but every index I, okay, what is the increasing subarray length? Okay, remember, it's not the longest. I'm not writing here longest at the current position. Okay, including the current element, what is the increasing subarray length? Okay, as simple as that. I'm starting this with 0. Similarly, this is the decreasing subarray length at the current position. Okay, as simple as that. Just the decreasing subarray length. Okay, including the current element, what is the possible decreasing subarray length? What it means, you will come get to know it, but just see the case here. I am starting from 1 till n minus 1. Okay, remember, I'm starting from 1 by 1. See, what will happen is, for every I will be checking it with I minus 1. Okay, for every I will be comparing it with I minus 1. For that reason, I'm starting with I equal to 1. Okay, so that when I'm starting with I equal to 1, it can be compared with I equal to 0. Okay, for that reason, I'm starting with one element ahead. Okay, I'm not processing 0 directly. 0 will be processed through 1. Okay, something like that. Okay, for every I minus 1 will be compared. Okay, now there will be three cases. So if when I see it, just it's a comparison, right? I'm comparing I and nums of I with nums of I minus 1. So there will be three cases. What are that? Ith element is strictly greater than I minus 1th element. This is the case number 1. Second case will be ith element is strictly smaller than the ith element, and the third case will be ith element is equal to the n minus 1th element. Okay, here if you see, they are equal. Okay, similarly here if you see, okay, in terms of, yeah, they are decreasing basically. Okay, from 3 it's getting reduced to 2. Similarly, if you go from here 1 to 4, it is increasing. Okay, it's increasing. Now, how to do that? See, so let us go to the first case. What is the first case? First case, when the I minus 1 element is a smaller one and ith element is a bigger one. Okay, that is, we are going from a smaller element to a bigger element. Okay, that is, ith element is strictly greater than I minus 1 element. Okay, in this case, what we have to do? See, if this particular value, what is this? Increasing subarray length. If it is 0, that means, let us say we are starting the question now. Okay, for that reason, it was 0 initially. What we have to do? We'll have to make it 2. Why 2? Remember, since we are processing both these pairs, it is a pair, right? It is a pair. For that reason, both of the elements are going to part of the array. For that reason, the increasing subarray length is now going to be 2. Okay, since it was 0 now, and I'm processing two elements at once. Okay, both these elements I'm processing at once, so increasing subarray length is going to be 2. Okay, let us say, what is the else condition? So if this value is not 0, okay, that means it is a value greater than 0. In that case, what we have to do? Simply increment this by 1 by, we'll get to know why I'm saying this. See, for example, see, what will happen is, for example, let us take a case like this. You have 1 comma 2 comma 3. Okay, now when I'm starting processing by this. Okay, let me zoom in. Yeah, I will start my processing with 2. Okay, so 2 will compare with 1, and you will get, so what will happen? So this particular value will be made as 2. Okay, so that value you are seeing now, this particular value will be made as 2 initially. Okay, now let me copy it here. Yep, this particular value will be made as 2. Okay, when, because 2 is greater than 1, so this particular value from 0 it got changed to 2. Okay, as simple as that. Now I will compare 2 and 3. Since again this property is being satisfied, so what we'll do, I will just do a plus 1 here. I will just do a plus 1 here. Why? Since these two pairs are already considered, only 3 is the new element. Okay, remember, 2 is already processed with 1, so 3 is the only new element. So what we'll do, we'll just add 1 to it. Okay, this time it will be just a plus 1. Okay, as simple as that. For that reason, we'll just do a plus 1. If the value is not 0, if this value is not 0, we'll just do a plus 1. If this value is 0, we'll have to do a plus 2. Okay, as simple as that, right? Now, answer is equal to max of the any previous answer comma the current increasing subarray length. Okay, whatever is the current increasing subarray length, that is, we have to compare it with the max answer. Okay, now, since this was the increasing subarray, that is, C, nums of I was greater than nums of I minus 1. For that reason, if you see, there is no decreasing subarray here. Okay, for that reason, we'll have to mark this variable equal to 0. Okay, decreasing subarray length equal to 0, because here the element were increasing. So I, if you consider the nums of I, it was not part of a decreasing array. Okay, for that reason, it has to be made as 0. Okay, decreasing subarray length equal to 0. Okay, let us go to the second case. Okay, this was case number 1. Okay, where ith element is strictly greater than I minus 1th element. Okay, let's go to case number 2 now. Case number 2 is when ith element is strictly smaller than I minus 1th element. Okay, let us see the case here. Okay, 3 and 2. Okay, when you come to 2, you will get to know that the previous element was bigger, so current element is smaller. So what you will get to know, the ith element is strictly smaller than its previous element. Okay, in that case, what you have to do, then that means we are going to see a decreasing subarray. Okay, strictly decreasing subarray we are going to see. Okay, for that reason, what you have to do, same thing here. If decreasing subarray length was 0, we'll have to make it 2. Okay, if it is non-zero, what you have to do, simply increment it by 1. Logic is same what I explained to you here. Here I explained to you with increasing subarray. You have to take example of a decreasing subarray now. Okay, you can go to example number 3. That is a very good example of a decreasing subarray. Okay, I will show when I'm showing you the detail this part. Okay, this part when I'm showing you the log outputs, that time I will be explaining you this also. Okay, so in this case, what you have to do, if the value is already 0, just make it 2. If this value is greater than 0, if this value is greater than 0, what you have to do, increment this value by 1. Okay, again, whatever is the value now, just compare it with the answer, and whichever is maximum, just make that, like, allot that value to the answer. Okay, now since this was a decreasing array, like decreasing subarray, what we have to do, we have to make this value equal to 0. Okay, since the ith element was not part of an increasing subarray, so this value will now be made as 0. Okay, now since, if let's say, what is the else condition, see, what is the first case, ith element is greater than I minus 1 element, ith element is smaller than I minus 1 element, and the last case, ith element is equal to I minus 1 element. Okay, where is this case? See, in this case, if you see 3 and 3, okay, this is a case where ith element and I minus 1 element are same. In this case, what you have to do, see, the current element, that is the current ith element, is not part of increasing subarray. Similarly, the current element is not part of a decreasing subarray. So both of this have to be made as 0. Okay, and then I'm just printing this part just for your information. When you're submitting this code, always comment this out like this. Just comment it out like this, so that you don't, see what happens, when you are not commenting out the print statements and submitting the code, this will be, taking, this will be affecting your time complexity. Believe me, it will be affecting it. And sometimes even you will get the output limit exceeded error. Okay, so please be careful with this. Now let us go to the outputs. So if you see, this is the example number 1. What is happening? See, the first pair, 1 comma 4. Okay, that is when we are at I equal 1. We are comparing I and I minus 1. Remember that. So I'm comparing 1 and 4. So what I'm getting, it is strictly increasing subarray. So this value, okay, increasing subarray length will be made as 2. Okay, and this will remain as 0. Okay? Next is 4 and 3. It is a decreasing subarray. What will do? So decreasing subarray now will be made as 2, and this value will now be made as 0. Okay, as simple as that. Next value is 3 comma 3. Since 3 comma 3 is neither increasing nor decreasing, what you have to do? Both of these values will be made as 0. Okay, remember that. Now 3 and 2. 3 and 2 obviously is a decreasing subarray, so what we have to do, increment decreasing subarray. Remember, it was 0 previously, so now it will be made as 2. Okay, as simple as that. Okay, now next, let us go to example number 3 directly, because that is a good one. See, here we are combining 3 and 2. We'll get to know that it's a strictly decreasing subarray. Okay, for that reason, what you have to do, we'll have to make it 2. Next, we are going to 2 and 1. Okay, in this case, again, it is strictly decreasing subarray. What you have to do, so what, see, here the length is 2. Okay, now when we see in the previous iteration, that is when we are doing 3 and 2, the result is 2. Okay, next, when we go to 2 and 1, it is also following the strictly decreasing subarray. What you have to do, we have to increment this value by 1, so we are getting this as the value. Okay, so the answer in this case is going to be 3. Okay, 3 is the answer. If you go to example number 2, same thing, but if you see, all the values are same. So in this case, all of these values are going to remain as 0, and as I mentioned, the minimum possible answer is going to be 1. See here, always the minimum possible answer is going to be 1. So here we are writing 1 as the answer. Okay, yep. Now this was the Python solution for you. You can go through it. I will give it in the comment section. Next is the Java solution. Exactly same. Believe me, exactly same. Even I am keeping the variable names as same, so that you get a clarity on what is happening. Always remember, at least you should be expert in one programming language, and you should be good in, at least you should be, I can say, like, not professional, but at least you should be able to code some complex cases in a second programming language. Okay, as simple as that. So among Python and Java, choose what you want. Okay, Python, I will say, slightly easier. You can do a lot more with Python. Okay, in Python, the only limitation that you have is your imagination, but in Java there is a lot of limitations in terms of syntax. You have to remember a lot of syntax. I'm not saying like you should not learn Java, but learn Java, but just be good in other language also, so that if you are facing some challenges in a program online assessment, you can always code in a second language. Okay, sometimes the editor will not be supporting. Okay, the IDE or the online platform will not be, very compatible with a particular language, so you should have the expertise to code in a second language. Okay, just I'm trying to say that always you should have a language as your backup. Okay, so in Java also, if you see the solution, exactly same. Only difference, okay, that I can tell you is from my experience. See this part. In Python, I can simply use a max function and I can, compile it. But for Java, you have to import a library which is java.lang.math. Okay, this one you have to import. And remember, the max function is basically a static function. So to use a static function, you have to always call it with a class. Okay, so math is the class. So if you see, I'm writing java.math lang.math. Okay, remember, I'm not writing here dot max. Okay, if I write here dot max, it will be not correct. It won't be correct, because remember, max is static function. It should always be used with the class name. So that's why I'm using math.max here. Okay, so I'm passing the two values, whichever is the maximum here, that will be allocated to answer. Okay, exactly same logic. Believe me, it's exactly same. Nothing is different. Only the syntax is different. Variable names are also same, and only this part is slightly different, because here you have to import a separate library. Okay, okay, because max is actually a static function math class, okay. So you have to import it and you have to use it with the class name, okay, math.max. Other than that, everything remains the same as that of the Python solution. So yeah, that was all for this video. This was an easy question. That's why, like I always say, please say whenever you're seeing easy question, your aim should be to beat 100% of the solutions. Okay, get this and then you are done with the question. So it's not like you have to. It's easy question means okay, I can solve it using some inbuilt function or something like that. See, that is not the purpose of the question. Remember, even in these easy questions, many people are rejected in interviews. So it's if it's an easy question, you have to be in the top of your game. Remember that, because if it is easy, everyone can solve it. Okay, if it is hard problem, many won't be able to solve it. So just by solving, you can say that okay, I am above so many people. But if it is easy question, 100% of the people will be solving it. So you have to be above them in every means. Okay, for that reason, whenever you say easy question, your aim should be to write a very good code without using any inbuilt functions. That is the first objective. If possible, you have to attain this objective. Second objective is that you have to beat 100% of the solutions. Okay, always have these two things in your mind whenever you're seeing a very easy question. Okay, as simple as that. Because if you are using a lot of inbuilt functions, then in the interview they can simply say, okay, I don't want you to use the inbuilt functions, can you code without that? You should be able to do that. Otherwise, whatever impression that you have made, that will be going exactly opposite. Okay, it will just whatever impression we have made to the interview, that will go all in vain. Okay, if you're not able to code without using the inbuilt functions. So have this excellence in you. Always, whenever seeing easy question, always try to solve it without using inbuilt functions. Second thing is, always try to beat 100% of the solutions. Your code should be that much efficient such that it is beating this. Okay, even in Java you can achieve this. Basically that what I've given the code, you can achieve the same. Okay, at least above 90% should be a target. Okay, so yeah, that was all for today. If you want the time complexity, I've already told there in the starting of the question itself. It is going to O of n solution time complexity wise, and space complexity it is going to be O of 1. Okay, that's constant space complexity. Because if you see, we are not using any variable which is dependent on n. Okay, it is not dependent on the length of the n. Okay, these variables are going to remain constant irrespective of the length of the n. Okay, as simple as that. Respective of n, that is the length of the input. So yeah, that was all for this video. If you like my efforts and see, like from the last 3 days I'm showing you solutions which are beating 100% of the solutions. So if you like my efforts, if you want to be part of this community, or if you want to learn something from me, please do subscribe to the channel. This really gives us a lot of motivation to continue further. Our aim, like my aim to start this particular channel is that like every people, like see what happens, a lot of students don't get quality content. Okay, not everyone can like pay huge amount and get some good courses, right? That is not possible for everyone. Even for me it was not possible. So my aim is like they should be getting quality code for free so that they can take it as an example to learn. Okay, that's why I always solve code, and always I try to show you the best possible thing that I can show, and I provide it for free. Okay, YouTube is a very good medium where I can interact with multiple people and I can teach them through this medium. Okay, without charging anything. So if you like my content, the only thing that you can do is please subscribe so that it goes to multiple new peoples and they can also use it and they can also benefit from it. So yeah, that was all for today. And if you have anything to say, please do comment below. I go through every comments. See you tomorrow. Thanks a lot.